When I was growing up, I had this weird perception that social media was reserved for conventionally attractive people and popular people, and that anyone else was not welcome on social media. Nowadays, I see that there's a space for anyone on social media. But yeah, things were definitely a bit different when I was growing up. See, when I was growing up, I was never part of the in crowd. I was never popular. I never had a lot of friends. And I noticed that people who were all of those things, they would often be posting on social media. They would go to parties, they would go to dances, they would go to sporting events, anything you can think of. They would be going, they'd be having a good time with their friends, and they would post about it on social media. I didn't use personal social media accounts because I knew that I was someone who was left out a lot. And I didn't want to further plummet my self esteem by using it. But I did know how the tools worked because I did use social media just on my gaming accounts. So there I would interact with people who were playing similar games, and I got to know how the different platforms worked, like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, etc. I think it's such a shame that social media has been used in such a way where people are not authentic. Social media is just a tool. It's on you to decide how you use it. So if you are one of those people that blame social media for your depression and low self esteem, then you are part of the problem. I didn't use personal accounts on social media until college. And the reason for that is entering a new phase of life and I could finally be a new person. When I was in high school, I couldn't do that because I was already labeled as someone who I had no longer been. I think that social media is a beautiful way to meet new people who you might have things in common with, or people who are just in other parts of the world. I used to like reading growing up. I used to like reading about things happening in different parts of the world. You know, what goes on in the day to day life of someone living in Europe or Asia or Africa or Australia, like all these different places that I would most likely not get the chance to really go to, but I could still learn about. And I found that to be really interesting. It helped to broaden my worldview. And social media is really just another way to do that. Like social media, it's in the term itself. Social media, it's a medium. It's just a way of doing something. In this case, being social. There's so many ways to message people and follow people and just learn about what they're doing. You can interact with them directly too. Like, in what other time in history would you have the chance to speak with someone who you would otherwise never meet? That's just amazing to me, especially as someone who grew up with people around me who I didn't share most of the same interests with. When I was growing up, especially in my younger years, I didn't know anyone who was interested in videography and making content to tell stories and post them on YouTube. I also had limited exposure to life because I wasn't able to travel places to even have the chance to do that. And that's because I grew up with strict parents. We look at what happens on social media today and we blame the younger generations for, you know, being cringe and making dumb decisions, and always being glued to their phones. But a lot of these younger people, they have strict parents. So they can't go to places to live life and experience life in new ways with new people. So what do you expect them to do? Just sit and stare at a wall all day? Like they're going to use social media because social media can allow them to get exposed to experiences that they otherwise wouldn't. Instead of reading about what goes on in a different country, how about you actually just have a call with someone who lives in that place and you can get the real scoop about what goes on in that place. Not just what the news says, not just what a book says, but what the average person really experiences. We live in a day and age where people who study the same major but might go to schools that are on different continents can still connect and grow and just learn about each other. One of the common complaints that I keep seeing about social media is that it causes depression and it causes anxiety and, oh, I can't post this because what is my classmate from second grade gonna say? Or what is my ex girlfriend gonna say? And it's just like, you decide how you use social media. It's just a tool. If you're in a place where you added everyone you knew growing up, and then now you're trying to figure out if it's safe to post a certain thing, or you don't want to post a certain thing because you're concerned about what Sally from second grade is gonna say, that's on you. Nobody forced you to do that. And if you want to post something because you feel that that's what you want to post, then just post it. This whole concept of overthinking because you've added people that you don't really know, like it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. If you have to worry about negative reactions to things that you post, then like maybe you should have those people deleted from your page. Maybe you shouldn't have them as a follower. Maybe you should remove them. Maybe you should block them. You can't just limit your self-expression because of everyone else's perception when most of those people don't even know you anymore. Why would you add someone on social media if you don't intend to genuinely and authentically connect with them and get to know them and have them get to know you? I just don't understand that. I prefer to use social media with intention and discretion. I don't know about you. Well, I do know. I do know. The other thing I see is this whole concept of not getting enough likes on a post. Are we really at a point where we're so fragile about likes that we have to hide our likes on a post? Why? I see this a lot on Instagram, and I think it's one thing to hide likes on all of your posts because you're taking a stand. Like, yes, I'm not going to show my likes. I want the focus to be on the post itself. But for you to only hide your likes on the post that you know didn't perform as well, that just seems like you're wrapped up in ego instead of actually just sharing genuine content. And I've also asked a lot of people about why they hide their likes, and it's really interesting how they just can't admit that they're embarrassed about it. People will say, "Oh, I don't want people in my business," which, like, if you really don't want anyone in your business, then don't post at all. Or, "Oh, I don't know. Oh, I just feel like it gives me anxiety. It doesn't really matter to me. I just don't want to feel like I'm in competition with someone." It's all this avoidance. Like, at the end of the day, it just comes down to you and your self-esteem. You should not be deriving your self-esteem from social media posts. And it's just like, come on. Come on, just suck it up and post what you want to post. Social media is just such a powerful tool. I've been able to interact with people that I otherwise would have never met. I've randomly followed people, randomly messaged people who I thought were interesting or we had a similar interest. And a lot of them have actually responded and we've had nice interactions. Some of them have actually taken the time to have calls with me, like video calls. One time I needed help setting up something on my phone. This person from Australia actually took the time out of his day to have a video call with me and he walked me through exactly how to do what I was trying to do on my phone for free. And from there, we then had conversations about some of our other interests in tech relating to cryptocurrency and building computers. To me, like that's just invaluable. For me to find people in real life who I have a similar interest with, it could be difficult. You know, we all benefit from having a community around us. And unfortunately for some of us, we can't find that near us in real life, whether that's because there just aren't people or we have other limiting factors that prevent us from really ingraining ourselves in those communities. So social media is a great way to do that. I personally think that the best way to use it is to really have video calls and even audio calls where you can really get a sense of what the other person is like. I just feel that, especially nowadays, there's a lot of talk about loneliness and a lot of talk about why we aren't connecting with other people. And while social media is not a replacement for that, it can be a tool to really aid in having that type of genuine connection that I feel is really getting lost a lot of the time because people want to use social media as if they're influencers who are posting for the plebs. Everyone's just playing it safe with the posts. They're just using it as a way to post what they want and get everyone to like it so that they can build their self-esteem and then not have any actual conversations and real interaction. A like is not maintaining a friendship. A conversation is. So many people who unfollow me after I like their post. And it's just crazy. Like, how much of an ego do you have to have where someone is showing you love and your response is to just do that? But at the end of the day, everyone has to do what's best for them. I used to get butthurt about that. But now I'm like, look, that person decided that what's best for them is not having me in their life. And that's fine. I don't know what they're going through. If they don't want me in their life, then why should I care? There's always going to be more people to interact with. And yeah, I just think that social media is a beautiful tool that, if used the right way, can be really beneficial to improving your social life. You can use social media as a way to meet people in real life. You can use social media as a way to connect with people that you otherwise wouldn't. All these conversations that you have with people, they can really just lead to something special. So social media is just a tool. Don't blame it for your issues. You need to decide to use it with intention and discretion. If you don't, then you only have to blame yourself. Comment what you think about this. I want to know your experiences with social media. And that's it. I'm out.